Yummy, yummy.
There was another iconic moment in the show where you mention and you showcase your caviar dealer. Now, I know who this person is, and I can absolutely categorically verify that it is fantastic product.
Yeah, Remy.
Some of the best caviar that we, obviously as a family, as Persians, we buy his caviar.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Why do you love caviar so much?
I know. Well, again, it's very authentic. I'm not eating caviar because it's posh.
Yeah.
I'm not eating it because it's expensive or because I want to look a certain way. My daughter's Persian.
Mm-hmm.
I've been eating caviar since she was a baby. So has she. You know, we used to get tubs of caviar from Iran in a Tupperware dish.
Yeah,
you know, if
yeah.
parents were flying in and things like that. And Sophia would be eating it off of my thumb.
I love that.
You know, literally, that was
I need to start
lovely.
giving some to Alfie.
Oh,
gosh, we
It's
need to
good
do
for
that.
him.
Yeah, no, I'm going to start doing that.
it's fish oil.
Oh no, absolutely, we're doing this.
Hopefully you've got some in the freezer.
Don't worry, I know someone who has some.
You're gonna
I know your dealer.
you're gonna hit him up later. I get it. So no, I've been eating caviar, you know, and also, I mean, you know, my first boyfriend when I was 17 was Persian as well. So I mean, from 17 years old, I've been mixing with Persians and eating caviar. So for me, it's been a long time. It never gets old.
Yeah.
We had a big tin last night.
And I was hoping I might get a few beads, but you know, must have all got eaten.
Normally the youngs get the Christmas caviar.
You eat
so we
too.
normally arrange
I'm saving myself, don't
that.
worry.
But no, I like salty things.
Yes.
I've got a
darling.
salty palate. We need to be salty.
Darling, I love all salty things.
Yes, I got a
Always,
salty palate. I like a margarita. Don't be cheeky.
Darling,
Don't be cheeky.
the title of this podcast is Crazy Sexy Food, okay?
Listen, it's all about being salty. It's in the Bible. It is.
How do you eat your caviar? Because I always feel like this is a real bone of contention between people.
People do like to do bumps of caviar, but I
Yeah.
think I want a bit more texture to it. You know what I mean? So I do like to do the blini and the creme fraiche. Obviously, it's nice, you know, to scrape the tin at the end of the night or whatever, you know, save that bit for yourself. And you know that's lovely. So, yeah, either scraping it out of the tin on an ivory spoon, or I do like to load a dollop onto a lovely blini. I'm quite fussy about the way that we cook them. I like to cook them so the oils start to come out and they're a little bit on the golden side. I always feel like they undercook a blini and it's just raw. Blini should be a little toasty.
Yeah.
And then a lovely creme fraiche. That's how I like to do it. But I don't, you know, if you're in a restaurant, obviously sometimes you have all the little accoutrements to go with it. I don't care.
Okay.
It's all good.
Darling, as long as it's salty, it's fine. Let's take it back. I mentioned beforehand that you left Hampshire to come to London. You became a model. You got into the industry. I want to know what life was like as a model in those days, because it was
Free
food. Was there any food really? Because it was a very different world to what we're in now.
No, there were restaurants, you know, and we as models, we were able to go to restaurants and take our model card and they'd stick it on the wall. We'd eat for free.
No way.
Yeah, we had a lot of free food because they knew that we were starting up and we were young models, and you know it took a while to get the business going. So yeah, we would go to like places like Mr. Wings, you know, in Earls Court, and we would get free food there.
I didn't know you could do that. Oh wow.
Yeah, my model card was on the wall of Scalini until quite recently.
I love that.
So I used to go into these and Italian restaurants. There was a lot of Italian, Chinese, now and again probably an Indian. You know, the spots in the early 90s, we would eat in Tramp. You know, the Tramp burger was a good one.
Taking it back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course after Tramp, we'd be in Marouche. You know, and then so there was a lot about Edgware Road, going to, you know, I used to live on Park Lane, you know, back in the day when Sophia was born. So we'd always be hanging out at Marouche. So I think that I'm going to say, well, and also the early 90s, I was also, after that, living in Tower Bridge. You know, I had a fabulous apartment overlooking Tower Bridge. And then it was all about like Pont de la Tour and all of that Butler's Wharf, you know. So there was these lovely restaurants coming up, sort of the Conran group, you know,
of course,
and then Bibendum and you know. So I did see a lot of these sort of chains start to come up. Quaglino's, we'd be there every Friday night. So there were some great restaurants in the early 90s when I came up about 91. London started to really come up with the restaurant scene. So, loads of places to eat.
Talk to me about the modelling world then.
Yeah.
And what the industry looked like, because that's also evolved a lot over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a girlfriend last week. I was at a gala, and one of the girls I used to work with when I was in my 20s happened to be sitting next to me, Celia Sawyer, and she was like, the risk, the protection. We didn't have protection around us. It was so risky. We had, looking back, there were so many sort of instances where it could have gone really badly wrong, and, all of the things now that are frowned upon, they weren't frowned upon then. Photographers might try and get you drunk. Yeah. There was definitely flirting, bottom pinching, being inappropriate, trying to, maybe get you to take something off or whatever. There was just, it was constant, and you felt like the agency, maybe didn't protect you as much. So I didn't have a negative experience, but I know that probably a lot of girls did have negative experiences in the 90s. We didn't have any. The men were allowed to do anything they wanted. All the photographers were men.
It was a free-for-all.
They were all men. Today you have amazing women photographers, and I love working with women photographers because actually I think they shoot women better at the end of the day.
We have a certain
it was very male-dominated back in the day, and we were young, we were naive. I came to London with no friends, no contacts, a car full of shoes. I didn't have anyone. So I really had to figure it all out myself. And it was a very vulnerable time, and I was very naive, and I had to learn a lot very quickly.
Did you feel pressures to keep up a certain appearance?
Yeah, I mean, I was naturally very thin, so that wasn't an issue for me. So it wasn't, I didn't have a weight, my agency weren't pressurizing me. I was too thin, actually. Okay. So they used to, my waist was so small, they used to lie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they used to say, well, you're not going to get any work. My waist was like, 18 inches.
Hell.
We just had to lie about it and make it like 22, because you had to have standard sort of thing. I mean, they pushed me to do surgeries. So, they were like, you need to fix that bump on your nose, and you will get more swimwear if you have a breast augmentation, so definitely they definitely pushed me into some surgeries.
I think something that I really have admired about you ever since I've known you is that you actually mentioned it a second ago, is that you're unapologetically yourself. On face value, you're this gorgeous, towering, striking woman. And I can imagine a lot of people have preconceptions when they meet you and they see you. And you prove them wrong very, very quickly. You're so much more than that. And I wonder where this drive and this and I say this word in a positive way, this fierceness to kind of achieve and want more comes from. Because I think a lot of women who look like you a lot of people will sort of say, oh, all the looks, whatever. But it's not that at all when it comes to you. And so I wonder where that comes from.
Yeah, I'm a very driven person. I'm very ambitious. I came to London to make my fortune, and I did, from a small town, as I said, with no connections and, friends, or, just me and me. So it was really, really tough and very lonely. But I do think those early years, I've had pain, I've had suffering, I've had to go through a lot, I've had broken relationships. I don't think people understand how broken you become when you've had a broken marriage, a broken relationship, you've had to pick yourself up with a child. That gives you a lot of strength and a lot of resilience. People don't understand how disappointing it is to have a broken relationship. You become broken from it, and you have to hold up the walls, put on a happy face, go to work, show up for yourself, show up for your kids, for your job. And I do think that builds in a layer of resilience, and suffering is a part of life and struggle. And not only does it make you stronger, it makes you kinder. When you're in a place of darkness, when you're in a place of despair, you find humility.
Very true.
So that's very, very important. And, I would feel sorry for anyone who hasn't found that.
Hungry for more? Hit subscribe.